Hey, welcome back to Believe Your Vision and happy Friday. So I know a lot of y'all getting ready for the weekend. I had my little niece's birthday is today, and then we're planning a birthday party for her tomorrow on Saturday. So getting ready to get acquainted and everything with that. But we just gonna dive into it. Okay, we're gonna dive into it. And so we are talking about deciding and determining basically the difference, right, between a hobby and a business. So again, a lot of my videos I talk about, gifts, talents, and purpose, and structuring that into income, impact, and a business. But a lot of people say, oh, I have a business, I own a business, X, Y, and Z. But sometimes they're really just operating in a hobby. They're operating in something that they enjoy. They operating in something that they actually just love to do. Now, here's the thing. Saying or operating in your hobby, you can still get paid for your hobby. Okay? So let me say that, because some people think, oh, well, I can only run a business in order to get paid. No. You can operate in your hobby and you can still get paid. So for example, if somebody did, t-shirts, right? And they're doing their t-shirts, they're pressing the t-shirts, right? And they're, either sending the t-shirts to people, or let's just say family, friends, or people at their job, right? They're doing the t-shirts and they're giving the t-shirts to them. They still can get paid. You get what I'm saying? But they might not actually operate in a business. They may have not turned their hobby into a full-blown business. So you can still get paid when you're working in your hobby. But a couple of things, when you are actually working in your business, there is a lot okay, of things that you have to worry about in order to ensure that you're structured, that you have clarity, that you're organized, that you, yes, are getting paid, and some of all the other background things, right? So a hobby, yes, it can make you happy, it can make other people happy, right? But when you are literally focusing and working within your business, you're solving problems, right? You're actually generating some type of income, okay? And so a business has structure, a business has systems, right? So when you're working with a business, you have to have a payment processor. And I'm not talking about Zelle, and I'm not talking about Cash App. If you're taking Cash App and Zelle and maybe sometimes PayPal, because PayPal, you can do business with PayPal, but Cash App, Zelle, you might just be operating in a hobby, right? And these, I'm not saying these are 100% things, because there are some people who have businesses who take, Cash App and Zelle. But what I'm saying is, when you get what I'm saying, operate in a business, you really shouldn't go through Cash App and Zelle. And the reason for that is because, for one, you want something structured. You want something that is, so people can't come back and be like, oh, well, hey, she's scamming me. You get what I'm saying? Or try to call their bank and say, hey, I tried to pay, somebody through Cash App. I accidentally sent it to the wrong person. Or I tried to send it in Cash App. They were supposed to send me some money and I never got it. Too much stuff. Okay, you want a legitimate payment processor. And a legitimate payment processor, for one, like one that I personally use, can be like Stripe or like Square Up, right? Sometimes you can have like your own website and you can generate a payment processor inside of your website, right? Your customers have journey. You want to do marketing, you want to do follow-up, you want to do sales process, you want to do email marketing, right? You want to get your business out there. So there's a lot of things that is in the back end when you are literally talking about a full-blown tax write-off business. I would not suggest. Now, you can do what you want, but I'm just saying, I personally would not suggest Cash App, Zelles, and things of that sort, just only because they can kind of get a little tricky, and you want something that's literally going to come on somebody's bank statement. So if they come at you and say, hey, well, I'm going to decline this charge X, Y, and Z, you have backup that says, no, hey, this is what comes on their statement. This is what shows up on my end that says that they have purchased services for me. Like, you have something in writing, right? Sometimes when you do businesses, you have to have contracts. You have to have people that will actually sign different things. For example, I used to be a travel agent, and when I used to take my client's payment for their trip based off whatever vendor I was using, there would be a credit card authorization form that I sent to them. And every single time they wanted to make a payment, they would have to agree to a contract that I sent to them. And basically it said something like, John Doe is giving me permission to make, $200 towards their payment trip to Cancun, Mexico on June 4th, 2025, XYZ. So, because again, I don't want them coming back saying, oh, well, I gave them my credit card number, or I gave them XYZ and they end up charging this, or they end up putting $200 on this trip and I didn't tell them to do that. You want to have documentation. You want to have things backed up in your email, saved on your drive, saved on your phone. And I ain't talking about just text messages. Text messages are good, and I do keep those as well. But like I said, when you are operating a business, a tax full on business, there's other things that there's just a lot. Okay. And I talk more about that in the school community. But a lot of times people just think, oh, a business is just making content. No, ma'am. It's more than just making content. Yes, it's making content. But again, like I say, if you want your website, if you want a logo, if you want you got to get your LLC, you got to get your EIN number, depending on your business, which I actually personally need to do. Get a DUNS number. Do you have a business checking account, right? How many checking accounts do you have? You can have a business checking account, but then do you have another account for like just for your expenses, and then one for your deposits, and then one that you actually pay your employees out of, right? And I'm not saying that every business has this or that you have to have this. I'm not going to say there's no like requirement, but I'm just saying to operate, I would say, in a more successful way, these are some of the things that you have to look at. And these are some of the things that you may have to get. No, you don't have to get 3, 4, 5, different checking accounts, but it also just depends, like some people have multiple, businesses. Sometimes people have a different checking account for each business that they have, so they'll know exactly where their money is coming into. You don't have to have that. You get what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, some people have that. Some people put all of their funds into literally one account. I don't want that, because I want to know, okay, if I got, for example, B.Y.V. Believe Your Vision is a movement. But when I was doing like my mentoring program, I want stuff specifically just for my mentoring program. If I'm working a 9 to 5 still, I want an account just for my 9 to 5. If I'm saving, stuff, I want my savings account separate. I want my vacation separate. That's just me, right? Because it helps me. But what I'm saying is, going back to business, you want to see the ins and the outs of where your money is going to. Don't mix your business money end up with your 9 to 5 paycheck in the same account. No. That is a no-go. You need 2 separate accounts. Now, if you are not able to get a business checking account right then and there when you first starting off, okay, cool. Just get another regular checking account, because that's what I did, right? Just get another checking account, but you want to be able to differentiate where your money's coming from. So that's what I'm saying. That ain't a hobby. That's business, right? When it comes to marketing. Where are you going to market? Are you going to market on YouTube? Are you going to market on, TikTok? Are you going to market on Instagram, right? What are you going to talk about? Have you figured out your target audience, right? We're not worried about likes. We're not necessarily worried about followers. We want customers. If we're turning our business into impact and income, we need money. You can work with 50 people. You get what I'm saying? You can work with 25 people. If you got a high ticket offer, you can work with the people that you're working with. You don't have to have these millions of followers. You don't have to go viral on every single post in order to make money, and in order to build a business. You don't have to have that, right? Business requires execution. So you can't start when you feel ready. You got to just start. And as you start and as you move, eventually you'll start to get clarity and get, things to start to come your way, and God will give you the tools and the resources and the things that you need to ensure that you have what you need when you need it, right? A lot of people, when it comes to like their dreams and their gifts and their business, right? A lot of people like to research, they like to plan, they like to dream, but they never take the first step forward, which is officially moving, which is officially executing. And when I initially first started, I wasn't ready. But I'm just like, hey, I can't. It's just like if you're driving a car, I can't expect to get to my destination if I don't get in the car, put the keys in the ignition, turn on the car, and actually put the car in drive so I can officially drive off. Now, if I get in the car, put the keys in the ignition, and just turn it on, I'm still not going anywhere. I can't get to my destination if we still in park. It's the same thing with your goals, your dreams, and your business. You can't expect to go somewhere or get even to the top, right? A lot of us want to make 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month, 100K a month. Is people making that? I'm not there yet. But there's people making that. They didn't start when they had every single little thing lined up. No. They just started with what they had, right? They just started with the things that they had. They used their resources, right? And resource management is one of the skills that I talk about in my God-given skills course, which is also known as the business execution framework. Resource management, you have to use what you already have in front of you. Stop thinking that you have to go out and buy this and go out and buy that, or you can't do this or you can't do that because you just don't have it. Yes, you do. Get your phone, get some good sunlight, turn your lamps on, and start recording, post the content. You get what I'm saying? Use what you have. So, and like I said, that resource management is one of the 9. If you want to know the other 9 that I talk about, make sure you get in the school community so you can get into that course where I go over all 9 in full detail, and that is going to help you become a better, successful entrepreneur, leader, and mentor within your business. And so this is why, like, leadership and communication, all of this is business skill matter, right? All of this is business skill matter. And so again, you literally just have to move forward. So I want you to think about the business, the talent, the gift that you have, and figure out, are you operating in a business or are you operating in a hobby, right? And there's no right or wrong way to do that. But I want you to understand, okay, hey, if I'm operating in a hobby, what steps do I need to take and actually to formulate this into a business? What steps do I actually need to take to formulate this hobby into income? Like I said, you can get money while you're doing your hobby, but do you want to just stay, in that small hobby that you're doing, or do you want to scale? And do you want to, branch out into entrepreneurship? Do you want to branch out into reaching, more people and scaling and elevating up? And expanding your hobby into a business. So that's just something that you want to think about. Now, some people just say, hey, I just want to operate in my hobby. I just want to, get a little money on the side, do this as a part-time. Then by all means, do that. Like I said, there's no right, there's no wrong. But I'm just saying, depending on what you want to do, you have to ensure that you're aligning yourself with all the steps, because running a business is not easy. It's not for the weak. And I'm still, again, learning things myself. But there's just a lot. It's a lot to it. And I think a lot of times people quit when it comes to officially formulating the business because they don't realize how much it actually can put on you and how much you personally have to do to get your business literally running up from the ground up. So if you're ready to develop the skills, right, that you need to build your own brand, right, or to build a purpose-driven business and turn your gifts into impact and income, then you need to join the Believe Your Vision community, which is free. Again, it is on our school platform. It'll be in the pinned comment below and also in the profile as well. If you haven't watched some of the other videos, make sure that you watch that, because I do go over a couple of other different skills that I talk about in reference to being a positive and successful, business entrepreneur, to allow you to build something profitable and sustainable. Okay. Last thing, if y'all haven't noticed already, and don't forget to get your Believe Your Vision journal. Okay, Believe Your Vision journal, y'all. I'm halfway. I'm halfway, almost done. But make sure you get your Believe Your Vision journal. It is released on Amazon. All the links will be down below in the caption. When you get it, make sure you tag me either on social media or here on YouTube, and just let me know that you got it. And this is a book not only for you to put all of your dreams and your goals down, but again, to write down every single thing that you want to do and happen in your business, in your life. Because again, believe in your vision. Nobody can believe or understand the vision that you have, that God has given you. You have to believe in that first. So if you haven't already gotten it, make sure you get it. If you have any questions, let me know. And until next time, see ya.